Thank you, Mary. Thank you for that very kind introduction. Boy, my son is out there going, man, you got to follow Bon Jovi. Like that's open for me. Yes, exactly. That is not how history shall record it, but yes. It's an incredible honor to be here tonight. Your Eminence, thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you all for being here as well. All of your contributions, your charity, your goodwill towards this important organization, your commitments of time tonight, and your treasure are incredibly valuable. And of course, here we are in this great place. This Al Smith dinner is a truly singular experience in this audience. I look around, it's so incredible, right? We've got big donors, media titans, bishops, Wall Street leaders. It's literally like a Noah's Ark of tax loopholes. Look, I had this incredible privilege to be the Secretary of State and the CIA Director. Indeed, in that role, I used to be the guy that you'd call to make a problem disappear. Now I'm just the guy you call when the first 6 folks turned you down, Cardinal. But look, let's cut to the chase. So many of you have been so kind. I know I'm a little more trim than when you saw me last. I've lost over 90 pounds since leaving office. Yeah, there you go. I didn't count on that one for applause, but I'll take it. Look, it turns out that the real foreign threat on my life wasn't the Iranian fatwa, but instead cheeseburgers, pasta, and French fries. By the way, take a look at this picture. It was about to kill me. The change is quite striking. This was me before. Yeah. And this is me now. Yeah. It's good to be out of government. Yes. So look, a couple years out of politics, I not only lost my gut, but I lost my security detail as well. That's right. In spite of the continuing threats on my life, I do not have diplomatic security service protecting me anymore. So tonight, I'm very thankful, with Cardinal Dolan's help, the Vatican was kind enough to send over a couple of Swiss guards. Because nothing says intimidation like a guy dressed like a nutcracker. Yeah, when I was in office, I had a C-17, an armored vehicle, encrypted communications. I had special forces following me in the shadows. Now I get the middle seat on Delta, a Kia Sorento. I have a publicly available phone number, and instead of Navy SEALs, I have a neighbor named Don who plays Call of Duty. The American way, yes. Now, I know you're thinking, Mike Pompeo, what's the chance of him suing stand-up comedy? It's about as likely as Middle East peace. So thank you to Mr. Witkoff. Here we go. Yeah. Now, by the way, the fatwa I talked about is real. The Ayatollah in Iran still trying to kill me. So shout out to the NYPD for taking such good care of us all and keeping us safe here tonight. Thank you. That fatwa includes a $1 million bounty on my head, which my wife thinks is a little low. But having said that, I also caught her Googling the other day insurance payouts. So I'm going to keep an eye on you, Susan. Look, when I was at the CIA, we had assets all over the world. Their identities, top secret. Only I and a handful of people actually knew who they were. But now it's great. I'm Mike Pompeo unplugged. Now that I'm out of government, I can finally declassify a few of them. In fact, I'm looking back there. I see a few of my former field officers actually in the room tonight. I'm going to do a quick roll call, if I may. Mr. Murdoch was supposed to be here. Fox Table's there in the back. Rupert Murdoch, agent name, Propaganda Panda. He's cute, he's cuddly, and he can turn a retirement community into a guerrilla army before breakfast. Mike Bloomberg. Mayor, where are you at? Mike's here tonight. He was one of my best. Look, his cover story was being mayor. His actual assignment, eliminate fun. If it sparkled, it was a big gulp, or it made noise after 10 p.m., confirmed as contraband. Adam Silver, NBA, head honcho. Code name, No, wait, Adam works for the Chinese government. He wasn't one of ours. My bad. I almost pulled that one, but, you know, had to keep it in. And finally, Cardinal Dolan himself, also known as Agent Black Smoke. And trust me, Cardinal Dolan wanted the name White Smoke. Yes, Cardinal Dolan, many of us wanted that name for you, but the conclave is tougher than a Letitia James grand jury. Look, along with titans of business finance in this room, we are incredibly blessed to be with NFL greatness tonight. So many of you can see it. I'm sitting next to the great Robert Kraft, who just gave a set of remarkable comments about love and peace and America. Robert Kraft is also the owner of the Patriots. Woody Johnson's here as well. One of them built one of the greatest dynasties in football history, and the other was my ambassador to the United Kingdom. By the way, I thought after what Mary said, I thought that was like really easy. Yeah. Mr. Kraft, the Happy Warriors, is here with his beautiful wife, Dana. I remember some of the snarky comments, not mine, when they first got together. People poked fun at their age gap. To which Bill Belichick said, "Age gap, hold my beer." Look, it's good to have so many folks from the National Football League here, or as it will soon be called, La Liga Nacional de Fútbol. You know, Mary talked about Bad Bunny. He'll be performing the halftime show at the Super Bowl, which, of course, is a sentence I never thought I would say into a microphone while wearing a tux surrounded by clergy. And here's another one I never thought I'd be saying. Eric Adams, Mayor Bloomberg, we are going to miss you. You know, Roger, I must say, I'm actually kind of looking forward to the halftime show. We're going to hear such all-American classics as Tite Me Pregunto, Me Porto Bonito, and Yo Perreo Sola. Yeah, my middle school Spanish, finally, something of value. By the way, that last title literally translates I twerk alone. You can look it up or ask ChatGPT. By the way, that was also my CIA field name. And you know, it's funny. I don't know why they picked Bad Bunny. I truly don't. Like Bad Bunny, like it sounds so negative. It feels like a sign of American decline, doesn't it? You know, someone should tell you, Roger, that like back when Pete Rozelle days, we didn't have Bad Bunny. Like no, back then, Cardinal, you'll agree with this. We had family values, right? We had faith in country, faith in God. That's right. Back then, we had good bunnies. Yeah, you got to look at the screen to get the whole deal. Look, there's also some glaring absences here tonight from the festivities. Chief amongst them, the presidents who Tony and I served, neither of them here tonight. We had the pleasure of working for two very different leaders. Now, President Trump's absence, I think it's historic, Tony, because with this many cameras and so much money here, I half expect him to come crashing through the door like the Kool-Aid man dancing to YMCA. Indeed, I've got security looking out to make sure he doesn't walk in while I'm speaking. Look, we are also here at the Waldorf, an iconic American landmark that has hosted presidents and kings and world leaders and is now owned by the Chinese Communist Party. But soon it's going to host Zohran Mamdani's low-income Section 8 waiting list. And I think that's okay for the Waldorf because nothing goes better with chandeliers and marble floors and impeccable artworks better than 400 mattresses and MS-13 gang leaders making shivs out of toothbrushes. Look, you don't have to guess. The absolute hottest amenity at the Waldorf will be charging stations for ankle monitors. But I must say, I know, I've heard a lot of you saying tonight you're worried I am not as pessimistic about Mamdani as for mayor as some of you, because I'm confident under Mr. Mamdani, crime will go down in New York City, because he'll just redefine murder as just an aggressive hug. And the NYPD, it'll be replaced by simple people with scented candles. And New York, once again, will be the city that never sleeps, because everyone will just be on meth. Look, it's really special to be up here with, yeah. No, I knew at some point I would get a pity laugh, and there it was, so all good. Look, it's great to be here tonight with Tony. We are indeed friends. He and his wife, Evan, are lovely, wonderful people. And you know, he's so nice. And Tony, with your mother here, I thought, boy, it'd be hard to say something, but here I go. So, and Tony and I agree on many things, but you'd agree, Tony, we work for two very, very different leaders. And as I said, you know, Tony is so much nicer than I am. If foreign policy was the Titanic, I'd be the guy steering clear of the iceberg, and Blinken's the guy giving violin lessons on the Lido deck. And look, in just under half a decade, Afghanistan collapsed, Ukraine erupted, Israel caught fire, China was running the table. Look, other than that, killer, good 4 years. Yeah, we had our failings too. You know, when I was Secretary of State, we didn't have any new wars. But Tony, it felt to me like you were like the Oprah Winfrey of Secretary of State. A war for you, and a war for you. Everybody gets a war. But it's great to be out of office. I get to go back and I get to grill at home, and Tony's probably out giving a master class on diplomacy through interpretive dance and guitar playing. It's a talent I do not possess. Similar retirement, a similar privilege to have served for 4 years, but very different vibes. And the vibes here tonight are truly unique, and they are, of course, what really matters. The vibe is what Bob spoke about. This man, Alfred E. Smith, and the greatness that he demonstrated, and the love of this city and the state and the children of this country that he demonstrated, and the joy that he brought. He prioritized his charitable heart in the way that you all do as well. And I do pray that we may all aspire to that end, and that whatever walk of life the Lord directs us to, may he continue to bless this event and you all and this place and this charity. Your Eminence bless you for protecting the unborn and for saving and protecting all the children and loving creatures as they are God's children. Thank you all for the opportunity to be here tonight. May God continue to bless this great nation.
Well done, Michael. Bravo. Bravo.
Michael.
Well done. Good, Johnny.